Hello everybody, thanks for coming tonight. My name is Joseph Thompson and I'm the CEO and co-founder of ATEC. What I'm going to do today is tell you about the platform that we've built, how we're scaling, and some of the opportunities we see over the next 10 years. $0. That's how much everybody in this room has made from their own data. And guess who makes money off your data? Google. So they've made $116 billion in revenue last year. And why is that? It's because you don't own or control a digital identity. So we've decided to build a platform that solves real-world problems that affects people all over the world. And we see decentralized, interoperable blockchain as an opportunity. So in your hands, your data on average is worth $2,500. So right now, that data is not making you any returns. For local Singaporeans who went away on holidays over the weekend, wouldn't it have been nice if you could have sold your data for those flights? But that's not possible. So what we decided to do was develop a DApp that can sit across multiple blockchains. It's interoperable. We're blockchain agnostic, where the end user is in control of their own private keys. And their data is stored privately and securely on their own phone. We never touch end user data. It's none of our interest. And we've built this platform to empower end users to control their own data and, more importantly, control their own identity. So what we've built a platform that can be used for organizations like Microsoft or like Facebook's outcoming wallet, Calibra. And we decided to build a stack which can allow different identities to actually work with public blockchains, private blockchains, permission blockchains. As I say, we're blockchain agnostic. So that gives end users the ability to empower their own data, control their own data flow. Because we're dealing with governments, we're dealing with banks, we're dealing with end users, and they don't know, is blockchain going to be a Bitcoin blockchain or Ethereum going to be scalable? We don't know what the winner is. So working with Polkadot, looking at Binance, Hyperledger Fabric, we decided to build an application. We let the end user decide how they want to flow their data. Now for this to be successful, we decided to introduce something which is pretty cool. A UPay token. You essentially get paid for your own data. Build real-world applications where end users are incentivized to be on the network and be part of the ecosystem. So when we were looking at this, we decided to ask ourselves 3 questions. What's the intrinsic value that we can create? What can our platform do that fiat or credit cards can't do? It's empowering the end user to have a verified identity where they can access services such as aid or welfare or banking remittances. They control their own data, but can they store their own data? Can they control it? Can they sell it? Now going back to my first slide, your data is worth $2,500. You never see that. If you're in control of your identity, you're building a data credit profile based across aids, welfare, donations, remittances, and health. I'm going to talk you through some of these examples. So I'm going to talk 2 examples. You can make a donation on our platform, and you can send a donation and see where your money goes. Donations in the US is worth $400 billion. We also did a project in Tanzania for the German government, where we had the first baby in the world born on the blockchain. Now what does that mean? A mother gave birth to a child, and the mother controlled all her own data when she was going for health visits, and she controlled that data for the child. We eliminated fraud, we eliminated corruption, and we improved efficiency. Now, you think about that person with a verified identity. They can decide to sell their own data. Private data, their name, address, it's up to them. But they have an identity that actually accesses this data. And they can put that data in what we're building is the decentralized metadata exchange. And what we found from all the work that we've done across our 90,000 users, the metadata that is generated is the game changer. We see blockchain as the front gate, and these clean data sets are going to be what's game changing going forward. And then you can actually advertise this data to advertising companies, banks, rating agencies, and you can get paid in the UK token. So now you're actually creating an ecosystem where you're incentivized to actually empower yourself to use your own data, to sell it, and to make money. And this is not something that we just thought up. To date, we've run projects globally. Our clients include United Nations Development Program, the Asian Development Bank, the Islamic Development Bank, clients getting funded by the US government. We've integrated with Stripe. We've had 90,000 users to date and over $31 million processed along our platform. It's been used across remittances, health, potentially a welfare project here in Singapore, and donations. I'm excited to say we've just signed a 2 million people project, which will be the world's largest identity project using blockchain starting in May next year. So we carried out the world's first delivery of international aid using blockchain in December 2015, and we've kept building, building, building. Not me, but my team. And so what we're going to now, how can end users be empowered to manage their own private keys without worrying about it? We're building out the protocol and then go towards a decentralized metadata exchange. So my founding team are pretty incredible. They do all the hard work. I've got the easy job. I just talk all day. But my co-founder, Niall, he's the operations guy, brilliant on product. Our CTO, Ben, he built our identity stack called Brick, which has been verified with the W3C. And Sasha, our chief data scientist, has his PhD in cognitive neuroscience from Cambridge. Fantastic. And our brilliant team here, they do all the work. Based out of Dublin, I'm moving here with my CTO, so we see all the growth happening across Southeast Asia. And we've won lots of awards for this, so I'm just going to brag for a bit. But Christine Lagarde at the IMF gave us Game Changer of the Year for fighting corruption using blockchain technology. We also won a Tech for Integrity Challenge from Citibank. MasterCard gave us Company of the Year. And President Macron in France gave us Gulf Tech Company of the Year for delivering welfare entitlements. So we've been doing this for a while and we're getting a lot of attention from these big organizations. Our advisors, Singaporean Prof. Lee from SUSS. He also invested through Block Asset Ventures. We have Justin Park. He's the CEO of Metadium, a digital identity player, not a competitor, but as a collaborator. Ed Moy, who spent 8 years under President Bush at the US Mint, and the COO of the Women's World Bank, Tom Jones. So we have some phenomenally smart people advising us and showing us how to get to scale here. We're also venture-backed. We're the first blockchain company in the world to have government investment here in Singapore, the deep tech arm of the Singapore government, SG Innovate. We went through Techstars, Block Asset Ventures, and that gentleman there is Jason Calacanis. He is the world's best angel investor, officially. He's got 7 unicorns under him. He's looking for his 8th, and that's what he's hoping ATech will be. He's actually an investor in Uber in their seed round. So we got great returns there. So our ask is, we're raising $3 million to help us cope with all the scale that we actually have coming up now. From building out the identity platform, focusing on Southeast Asia, obviously hiring the team, same for every other company, and then building out our decentralized metadata exchange. So if this is interesting to you, if you see the opportunity between clean, trusted data sets and digital identity for the billion people who need it around the world, bring the two of them together. It's a multi-billion-dollar opportunity. Please come speak to me later on, and I'm happy to chat more. Thank you.